Okay, it is 6:30, so I'm going to call this meeting of the Thurston Conservation District Board of Supervisors to order for April 25th, 2023. We have supervisors Doug Rushton, Helen Wheatley, Betsy DeVreda, and myself, TJ Johnson here. Supervisor Ayal will not be able to be with us for this evening's meeting. We also have a couple staff people here. We have Executive Director Sarah Moorhead. We have Sophia and a couple other members of the public, it looks like, as well, and other interested parties, which we'll get to a little further down the line here. So welcome, everybody. With that, we have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to this agenda from staff or board? Okay, if not, I will need a motion to approve our agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
I second it.
Okay, moved by Helen, seconded by Betsy. We will vote on this agenda. Helen?
Aye.
Betsy?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. We have approved our agenda. Next up is consent agenda. We have 3 items on consent tonight. We have the minutes of our last work session and meeting, which we looked at earlier at our work session. We have the April 2023 financial report, which Yen provided to us electronically a couple days back. And we have the Washington State Ballot Initiative 2004 Right to Garden endorsement, which we also talked about at our work session. So we will need a motion on our consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Betsy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Helen. You're gonna have to be faster, Doug. These two are just on the spot tonight. Okay, so we'll take a vote on the consent agenda. Betsy,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
chair votes aye. We've approved consent. That moves us to item 4, public comment. This is the time at which any member of the public can address the board for up to 3 minutes on a topic of their choosing that is relevant to our business at the Conservation District. So is there anyone here who wants to address the board this evening under public comment? Going once, going twice. Okay, I will close public comment, noting that there was no member of the public here to make comment. And that moves us to our partner reports. NRCS is always first on our list here. We don't have an NRCS rep here at this point. Sarah, is there anything to update from NRCS?
Not at this time.
Okay. We will move on then. Department of Ecology, I do see Hannah Coe. Hello, Hannah. Thanks for
Yes.
joining us. Let us know what we need to know this evening from Ecology.
Yes, let's see the highlights from our newsletter this month. There's some info on Ecology's new Cap and Invest program. It's not something that I know very much about, but some other, I think there was some interest from some CDs. So we have some links on there if anyone's interested in that, as well as some info on harmful algal bloom resources as we go into the summer water recreation season. I feel like that always comes back up to top of mind. New ERTs in Thurston County, there were 2. One of those was just some solid waste on a property near the Chehalis, and I believe county has taken point on that one. So they're taking care of that. And the other was a report of livestock access to Scatter Creek near Tenino. We haven't gone out to verify that one yet, which is our first step when we get these reports. And so I think Travis, another one of our Noun Point team, will be going out and checking on that tomorrow. And should that prove to be, verified livestock in the creek, he'll check in with you all before sending out a TA letter to that property. So I think it sounds like it is going to be verified. So I imagine he'll be checking in with Marguerite probably later this week. And then let's see, we have interviews for Elena's position already coming up in like 2 weeks. So I'm very pleasantly surprised by how quickly we've been moving through that. Sometimes that can really drag on. So hopefully those will go well and yeah, start building team back up again. And that I think is all for me. Short and sweet. We can keep cruising along unless y'all have any questions for me. Oh, sorry, I do have 2 more things. Almost forgot. Since last month, the administrative order for the property on Dry Creek and the Chehalis has gone out. And so we have not yet heard anything back from them. I did connect with them and they know they have it. They know that, once the administrative order goes out, kind of the train's on the tracks. I can't pull it off. If they don't get me what they need to, the next step is penalties. And so it just is a waiting game now to see if they get their plan in order and really start making movement. So I hope so. We don't really accomplish anything by penalizing people. So hopefully this is kind of the push they need to get us the information we need to start cleaning up the property. And that's what I'm hoping for. And then the other property draining to the Skookumchuck, a warning letter went out there. I think last week, it might have been the week before even. April has just flown by. And so, yeah, waiting to hear back from him as well. And I think that really is everything.
Okay, well, thank you for the update. Are there any questions from the board or staff for Hannah? Doesn't sound like it. Thanks for being here.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome to stay, or you're welcome to move on if you have other things to do. That moves us to State Conservation Commission report. But Jean is not here tonight, so I don't think we have a report. And so then we move to WACD/NACD. Doug.
We're really getting off light. You might have noticed that there was no written update for me. That's because I didn't have a computer for a week, which was a bittersweet thing because I knew that it was highly not, well, I didn't have the computer. So there's not much to report other than on the 2nd of May, we're gonna have a Pacific Region meeting and you're all invited to that. That's a Zoom meeting. We'll be talking about the strategic plan for the region updates and then annual plan activities amongst others. So we have a whole new board there. So we'll see how it goes. On July 15th through the 19th, there's an NACD summer meeting in Bismarck, North Dakota. And then August 22nd through the 24th is the Southwest/Pacific combined meeting in Tahoe. And that's my report.
All right, thank you, Doug. Sorry to hear you had computer issues, but I kind of think that a week without a computer would be pretty lovely sometimes. So
Well, yeah, I did have mixed emotions about it. We should talk a little bit about WADE too. The WADE conference, Washington Association of District Employees Conference, is June 12th through the 14th, starting at noon on the 12th, which is a Monday. It's at Sleeping Lady. Wonderful venue, great location, great food, lots to learn. Not enough supervisors to go to it. I conned WACD into paying my way, so Thurston will have to pay that. So I'd encourage you all to think about that. And I can show you in Kashmir, probably one of the best barbecue places on the West Coast.
very tempting. Sarah, do we have a fair number of staff that are planning to go to Wade this year?
Yeah, I think we have a total of 7 staff that are going. It's a great introductory training opportunity for a lot of staff to kind of network and learn. So a lot of our new staff are going. A lot of our senior staff are presenting. So we have, I think, at least 3, if not 4 people that are involved in presentations of some capacity.
A good showing from TCD, it sounds like. That's great. Good. Okay. With that, we'll close reports then, and we'll move on to governance. The first item up here is an amendment to our budget to fully fund the CEC feasibility study. This was talked about in the work session, but because now we're on the record and this is being recorded, Sarah, could you just give us a brief update about why we're amending the budget for this project?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can pull that up for you guys to view as well. So the resolution that you saw in your packet tonight, coming live on the screen as we speak, is to increase the 2023 budget line item for the Conservation and Education Center from 55,000 to 73,700. The increase in the budget is proposed to come from the CEC fund, which is a balance that we've been saving over the last couple of years to continue this work. The increase in this budget will cover the increase in the proposal from our consultants to conduct this phase 2 study. So we have sufficient funding for sure to realize this increase, and this is the recommendation of the CEC subcommittee.
Okay, and for the record, that subcommittee includes 2 supervisors, Betsy and David, who are recommending that we do this. So at this point, I will need a motion on amending our budget. Doug?
Well, I'll make the motion and then I'll make a comment after we get to the second.
Okay, so go ahead and make the motion and we'll get a second.
I move that we accept the TCD resolution number 2023-02 to amend the 2023 budget fully fund the CEC feasibility study.
Okay, it's been moved by Doug. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Seconded by Betsy. Okay, Doug, you had a comment.
Yeah, I should have let Betsy make the motion for that. That would have been more appropriate. We're talking about $19,000, is that right?
18,700.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's move to a vote on this amended budget. We'll start with the maker, Doug,
Aye.
Betsy,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Okay, so that is passed. And now concurrent with that, we have a contract to approve with the consultants. So we'll need a motion on this one. Maybe we'll have Betsy make this motion.
All right, I move that we approve the Heartland contract, which is the CEC Phase 2 feasibility study.
Okay, it's been moved by Betsy. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Doug. We will vote on the contract with Heartland. Betsy,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
and I vote aye. I vote aye. Chair votes aye. That is passed. Item 3, last item under governance here is to take a look at what's coming up next month for work session and board meeting.
Yeah, they can. All right, you should see that on your screen. Sophia has that pulled up.
Yes, okay. So work session topic list. Number 5, do we actually need to talk about that again? I think we directed Betsy and Sarah to just write the letter for my signature.
Yep,
Yep.
I can go.
Okay, so we can take that off. All right. Any other changes to the work session draft?
What's the date of the meeting again? Around the 25th of May, something like that?
23rd. It's the 23rd.
May 23.
Well, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, go ahead, Helen.
if there's nothing else going on, I mean, maybe that's the time to delve into the GMA question.
Yeah, it looks like we would have some time to at least have an initial conversation about it.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess the topic was GMA updates and climate change, or maybe just generally GMA updates.
Yeah, and the element of, yeah, I think we really want to focus on that new element of climate change. And we might also have an opportunity to talk about at that point, I don't know, do we want to talk about the ag changes in the county too? Probably not. I think it's really important to get a handle on what this climate change stuff might mean for the TCD, how it's going to intersect with it. I think
Okay,
that's
so we'll start with that. Though there is clearly an ag connection. I mean, one of the things that cities have always thrown up for why they don't preserve more farmland is it didn't say you should in GMA. And so if there's a climate connection, it might actually be a mechanism for getting additional farmland preservation in cities and UGAs. So I'd like to talk about that as part of that discussion for sure.
And don't forget forestry. I drive down Sleater Kinney and they've just clear cut about 12 acres right on Sleater Kinney.
yeah.
Okay, so we've plugged in the GMA climate change update. That looks like a good list for our work session for now. Let's scroll down and look at the board meeting agenda. Fairly standard at this point. Is there something on the next page too? Beyond public comment? There we go. All right. And is it anticipated we will need an executive session next month, or is that to be determined based on tonight's executive session?
That's correct. That's a placeholder for now. There's nothing pending, but depending on what the board discussed tonight.
Okay. All right. So anything else folks want to add or need to change about this draft agenda? Okay. Not hearing anything, so we'll go with that as is for now, with lots of time to work on it. So then we'll go back to tonight's agenda. And the last item on our agenda tonight is an executive session. And this was going to happen last month, but because our counsel, Mr. Cushman, wasn't able to join us, we bumped it to this month. So we'll be doing an executive session to discuss potential litigation. This is permitted under RCW 4230-110-1. We will be in this executive session for, I'm going to add 5 minutes here if I can. I think it could be closer to 15 minutes. So we will be at a 15-minute executive session. We will, and the folks attending that executive session will be all the board members, our executive director, and our legal counsel, Mr. Cushman. We will not make any decisions in that executive session. When the executive session concludes after no more than 15 minutes, we will come back into this public session with a report out from the executive session, and then we will adjourn our board meeting. So with that, some of us will leave, and Hannah, I see you waving, so you're probably leaving too for other reasons. And then the remaining staff who aren't in the executive session will be back and see you in 15 minutes.
But it's probably better that you
Right on time.
geez, what great timing, because
I was just about to. You're on mute, TJ.
Forgot to unchange it. Okay, there we go. Looks like we all made it back here. So we just completed an executive session discussing potential litigation. We provided some direction to legal counsel, and we will come back and have a follow-up discussion in executive session on that topic next month. No decisions were made tonight in executive session. So with that, we've come to the point where we adjourn our meeting. Unless there's any other business to come before us, we need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
Moved by Betsy,
Second,
seconded by Helen. Voting on adjournment. Betsy,
Aye.
Helen,
aye.
Doug,
hi, this gives a new meaning to the new name Zoom. Good job, you guys.
chair votes aye. I will note that it is 7:08 p.m. and we are adjourned from our April board meeting. Thank you all for a productive, efficient session. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Thank you.